The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Despite the downtrend in COVID-19 cases, a group of experts says Filipinos should remain cautiously optimistic. On One News' The Chiefs, Professor Jomar Rabahante of the UP COVID-19 Pandemic Response Team told Filipinos to still observe health protocols, even though infections are declining. He said pre-Omicron figures have yet to return, and although there is a recent drop in daily cases, infections have yet to reach the low level. Rabahante also said that the public should remain cautious, even with the downgrade to alert level 2.
Siguro, we can be optimistic but cautiously optimistic kasi yung alert level 2 po, ang ibig sabihin nito, meron pa ring minimum public health standards. At yun po ang hindi dapat natin makalimutan.
In the same program, an infectious disease expert said it's still too early to declare that the country is now transitioning to an endemic situation. Dr. Jean Solante, a member of the vaccine expert panel, believes that the country's transition to endemic by end of February is too early. This as many Filipinos among the vulnerable population are still unvaccinated, including children.
Remember, we still have cases. Ang dami pang hindi nabakunahan sa vulnerable population, ha? Nakikita natin yung mga matatanda, no? May mga comorbidities coming in because of stroke, because of myocardial infarction, because of pneumonia. And it seems na parang napaka-early to say na we have to transition because we can deal with it.
In Manila, 26 minors have been apprehended for violating the curfew hours in the city. This as the local government of Manila imposed a curfew for minors from 10 p.m. until 4 a.m. daily. The youngest violator is just 10 years old, while the oldest is 17. The rescued minors will be sent to the DSWD, and the parents and guardians of the apprehended minors will also be charged for violating the Anti-Child Endangerment Ordinance of Manila.
Pag alas 10 na po ng gabi, huwag na pong utusan yung anak nyo, huwag na natin po silang hayaan sa labas. So, marami po kasing pwedeng mangyari sa kanila, no? So, maaari silang ma-involve sa mga riot, or so kung sa anumang disgrasya. So, mas maganda po pag gabi, nasa bahay na po sila.
The Health Department reminds COVID testing laboratories to properly dispose of medical waste after 20 children exhibited symptoms after being exposed to hazardous medical supplies in Catanduanes. Jen Calimon has the details.
Over 20 children in Barangay Concepcion, Vira, Catanduanes underwent antigen testing after being exposed to hazardous waste materials. They experienced COVID symptoms after using toxic medical supplies as toys. 7 children aged and 1 female adult came out positive.
Na siya po yung asikaso dun sa mga bata, asin na kinuha sa mga kamay ng mga bata yung ginawang baril-barilan na ringgilya.
Authorities discovered hundreds of used syringe, personal protective equipment, antigen test kits, and containers with blood in the coastline of Concepcion town in Vira, Catanduanes last week. Based on the probe, the biohazard wastes were from Excel Care Diagnostic and Wellness Center. Laboratory officials did not deny that the supplies belonged to them, but they insist that they did not dump toxic wastes on purpose.
Nagkamali daw po yung basurero ng pag-pick up nung plastic na lalagyan nila ng basura. Sabi nila nung kinuha nung hindi nila alam kung saan itinapon yung nasabing yung basura.
After further investigation, the DENR Environmental Management Bureau found that the laboratory does not have a water discharge permit and hazardous generator registration. Their DENR permit is also indicated in another location. Despite numerous violations, the laboratory will not be shut down yet. They were given until February 15 to fix their documents, but they will still face charges over violations of the Toxic Substances and Hazardous Nuclear Waste Control Act and the Sanitation Code of the Philippines. Fortunately, the children who tested positive from COVID-19 are now safe and currently recovering. For its part, the Health Department said they do not tolerate this irresponsible behavior from laboratory and medical facilities.
Meron din po tayong mga polisiya to guide you on what you're supposed to do regarding this medical waste. Maaari po ito makasakit or it can cause harm to our other citizens, no, within or nearby their area.
Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
The LTFRB says the supposed insufficiency of public transportation is, quote, surprising. This after commuters are seen waiting in long lines for buses in the metro.
Authority, we will endeavor to talk to all our operators na para
Executive
alamin
Director
natin bakit
Maria Cristina Casion said there are enough public utility vehicles in NCR. She added that the agency has allowed over 120,000 PUVs to operate in the metro. And Casion also said that they will talk to the operators to discuss the shortage.
nakakabahala po na nangyayari at nakikita natin sa lansangan na marami po ang nag-aabang despite the fact na na-issue na natin sa kanila, sa mga operators, yung proper authority. We will endeavor to talk to all our operators na para alamin natin bakit nagkukulang at bakit hindi sila nag-field. Pagka napatunayan po natin, sir, marami naman po tayong mga mechanisms, no, para malaman kasi may tinatawag tayong central monitoring system sa LTFRB at pag nakita natin na hindi sapat ang kanilang pinifield ay mag-i-issue po tayo ng show cause order sa kanila para for them to explain bakit hindi nila pinalabas lahat ng mga units nila.
The Health Department belies claims that COVID-19 deaths in the country are underreported. Critics had earlier questioned the difference between the death toll reported by the DOH and the higher numbers reported by PSA. They claim that COVID-19 deaths could be higher than what is officially recorded by the Health Department. But Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere explains that their data only includes the deaths confirmed to be caused by COVID-19. Vergere also says that they continue to validate the causes of death of victims, noting that PSA data may have included incidental cases or those who died of other diseases but are also positive for COVID-19. The DOH says they're now coordinating with the PSA to, quote, harmonize their data.
Let me just reiterate, ito pong DOH data is the official na numero ng pagkakamatay dahil sa COVID because our data is being cleaned, it is being validated, and whatever we report is exactly kung sino man po yung namatay dahil talaga sa COVID at hindi incidental ang finding na COVID siya.
The Commission on Elections reiterates before lawmakers that there are no incidents of hacking or cyber attacks on their database. A report released by the Manila Bulletin earlier claimed that a certain group of hackers was supposedly coordinating with Smartmatic to obtain data from COMELEC. Speaking before the House Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, the COMELEC said that they had conducted their own investigation into the matter. And the COMELEC found that the supposed data obtained by hackers is non-existent in COMELEC. The report had also claimed that PINs, or personal identification numbers for vote counting machines, were obtained by hackers. But the COMELEC says these PINs have yet to be generated. And COMELEC officials also note that cyber attacks are not possible as their system is offline.
We ruled out cyber attack because alam naman namin na yung system namin is not online. So it's not in the web. The only way that they can get information from that is through physical means. Ni-review din naman namin yung mga CCTVs. Wala namang untowards or any incident na nakita namin na medyo may pumasok na hindi authorized. And tama din po, not existing pa yung data natin.
Nakapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas, together with TV5 and other stations, joined forces to stage the Panata sa Bayan, the KBP Presidential Candidates Forum. This event aims to examine those vying to be the next president of the Republic of the Philippines. Marian Enriquez with the details.
With elections just 3 months away, the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas in collaboration with TV5, One News, ABS-CBN, CNN Philippines, DZRH, and Bombo Radio organized Panata sa Bayan, a presidential candidates forum. 6 presidential candidates will be put under the microscope as award-winning journalists and news anchors Karen Davila of ABS-CBN and Rico Hizon of CNN Philippines moderate the forum.
So ang karakter ng isang leader ay mahalaga. Pero ang pangalawa, ano ang plano niya? Maghirap naman na gusto mo lang ang kandidato, wala namang plano. Pangatlo, ano ang track record niya? Lahat yun maririnig natin dito sa forum na ito.
So it's not just one person asking the questions, it is the moderators and the 4 panelists. So that's what makes it so broad and very interesting for all kababayans to watch.
Panelists will include veteran journalists Ed Lingao of TV5, Robbie Alampay of One News, Elmar Acol of Bombo Radio, and Dan Andrew Cura of Far East Broadcasting Company.
For the longest time kasi our problem has always been na we seem to be content with general statements, with marvelously vague pronouncements and platforms. I suppose the public deserves more than that.
In the forum, each candidate will be given 5 minutes to present their platforms. Panelists will then further examine the aspirants. In the town hall segment, KBP member journalists will also get a chance to cross-examine the candidates. We're here at Studio 4 of TV5 where the KBP Presidential Candidates Forum will be held. This is where the moderators will sit. And on my left are the journalists that will be the member of the panel. The presidential candidates will attend via Zoom and they will be projected on the screens behind me, as well as the journalists from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The 3-hour event will air simultaneously on almost 300 different TV and radio stations nationwide. And to those asking if all 6 candidates will be present, that we have to find out on Friday at 9 a.m. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon is officially out of the disqualification case against Bongbong Marcos, now that she has retired from the commission. A study shows Vice President Leni Robredo is the biggest victim of disinformation among the presidentiables. And COMELEC has rejected the request of party list groups to be included on the front page of the ballot. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 10:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.